once I flip that switch, my power can't be denied. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. Call me a king, buy me a crown. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. I'm leveled up, and this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. Pay attention, I'm on a mission, man with a vision. Got a passion, making it happen, ready for action. And this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. And this is my world now. And this is my world now. And this is my world now. This is my world now. Hey! Here we go! We call it ready or not. You better steady yourself because we're raising some hell. There's nothing keeping this roof from blowing off. We're taking over the town. Hit the switch and shut it down. Like Indian, we're electric, never stop. We call it ready or not. We call it ready or not. We're giving all that we got. We're giving all that we got. We call it ready or not. We're throwing gas on the fire. The stratosphere getting high. We're trouble when we get crazy. We get wild. Got dynamite in our blood. Get ready and buckle up. When we go big, we blow up in ferocious style. We call it ready or not. We call it ready or not. We're giving all that we got. We're giving all that we got. We'll never throw in that white towel. You're never knocking us out. We're coming ready or not. 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 Oh, pain on our face. Oh, drums of thunder that keeps our pace. And make no mistake, we're coming for you. We're coming for you. We're coming for you. We're coming ready or not. We're coming ready or not. We're giving all that we got. We're giving all that we got. All that we got, yeah. We'll never throw in that white towel. You're never knocking us out. We'll never know. We're coming ready or not. We're coming ready or not. We're coming ready or not.
Racing isn't easy. but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Our family started RVing a few years ago, and when I think about all those campfires and fishing trips and sporting events, these are memories that are going to last a lifetime. I want to help others do the same thing. Hi, I'm Kevin Smith, General Manager at the all-new CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater. People in this community are very familiar with this location and the great service they've always received. So the biggest question we get is, where is Keith? The great news is, Keith is still here.
I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Through all the changes that we have seen, one thing that has not changed for us is the quality of our service.
Buying an RV is a big purchase, but it should be a fun and happy experience. So whether it be in sales or service or parts, our mission is simple: be the best. From our team here at CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater, we invite you to come down and experience the difference.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to coverage of iRacing on LSRTV and on the Community Radio Network. Round number 8 of the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series. Tonight, we're at Dover Motor Speedway. Qualifying is already on track. I am Wesley Outland. Jason Rockefeller is alongside Charles Wooten for Rocket Racing Media and the production side of things. And Jason, Miles the Monster, we saw in the Cup race where Martin Truex Jr. and Ryan Truex was the dominators of the Delaware track, mile track over the weekend. Now we're going to see what these drivers can do here in the virtual world tonight for round number 8. Welcome aboard, brother.
Yeah, man, glad to be here. My home track practically, even though Pocono was a little bit closer, but this is a home game for me. Every time, I love broadcasting races here in Dover. I was actually at the Cup race on Sunday, so I was there to watch Martin Truex Jr. break that long winless drought streak. And I wasn't there for Saturday, but I really wish I would have, because I have a lot of respect for Ryan. Glad to see that he finally was able to pick up his first National Series victory. And what a weekend for the Truexes. And the Cup race was absolutely fantastic on Monday. What a great turnout we had, even though it was delayed till Monday. Dover seems to never disappoint these last 2 years. I think Next Gen's definitely played a big factor in the great racing. But hey, man, these Northwest CLICKIT RV guys, they are ready to tackle Miles the Monster. This is a driver's racetrack. You either love it or you hate it. There's no in between, and it's very hard for a lot of drivers to figure out this place. But right now, at the top of the board, Joshua Morrissey, 23-29. I think he may have something for Miles here tonight.
Christopher White on track right now, former Cup Series champion of the Northwest in the 47 machine. We'll see what Christopher White's got up his sleeve here in this qualifying run. He's making his 84th start tonight, by the way, of all of the Northwest B Series races. This will be his 84th start. To go along with that, 7 poles, 9 wins in the series. 54 top 5, 72 top 10s. And we'll see where Chris White ends up now, as again, right now, he's currently 6th in the points this year, with one win on the season. And Chris White will qualify 5th, 23:41. Boise, Idaho, number 25. Here comes the Win Racing machine of CLICKIT RV and Ryan Bloom. Jason, on track.
Yeah, Ryan had a very fast car last week at Mid-Ohio, was not able to get it done. That win ended up going to Sean Breitzman, who was a surprise race winner from the Mid-Ohio Sports Car course. But Ryan has done a very great job this entire season. And also Christopher White, that we just mentioned as well, finally got the monkey off his back in Nashville. So those two guys have been having a great run these past few weeks here.
Ryan Blue making a safe start tonight, of course, for the driver of the number 25 machine, looking for his 5th pole. He's got 4 so far this year. And here comes now Toby Ritter's on track. Clifford's in the house, the number 23, also for Win Racing. Joshua Marcy, by the way, quick qualifier, 23:29. Devin West, the Knoxville truck winner during a Monday night, is now 2nd. 23:32, 23:36 for Ryan Bloom, just finishing up with his qualifying lap. But man, Jason, Toby Ritter's looking good in the Clifford car. Got himself a top 10 right now.
Yeah, and he's doing a really good job right now. Clifford has been such a good driver these last few weeks, and he jumps all the way up to 7th on the board. So maybe tonight is Clifford's night where he really shows some strength. Obviously, I talked about this track being a driver's track. Maybe it could be a night where Toby Ritters could show that driver talent here tonight.
Here comes the LSRTV Sierra in 4K Ford. Jeff Stabnow, the all-time leader and winner of the Sierra, well, not winner, but he's got 16 wins. He'll make his 86th start sideways for the 24. He'll make his 86th start tonight. He's got 10 poles, 50 top 5s, and 64 top 10s in the driver of the 24. Jeff Stabnow again finishing up with his qualifying lap right now. Jeff Stabnow this season currently 13th in the points. He does have 1 win this year. And here comes Sean Breitzman, the points leader, 16 points ahead of Paul Newton, winner last week at Mid-Ohio. The driver from Puyallup, Washington, now in Tucson, Arizona, Jason. Ready to see what he can do. He's mid-pack right now at 24th. Got to pick it up.
Yeah, and he just jumped all the way up to 3rd up on the leaderboards right now. 23:35 for last week's winner out of Mid-Ohio. And also Kevin Smith is back here tonight. Was not in the Ohio Sports Car course last week. He is 5th up on the board with a 23:38. And there's a lot of guys right now who are still trying to climb their way up here on the race leaderboard for qualifying. And Ryan Gormley, 4th up on the board that time around, 23:35 for the 22 machine. We'll have to see where he ends up on his 2nd lap.
Chad Malik, well, here comes Ryan Gormley now, 4th in that 22 machine, the TRD Toyota. Rester Motors entry. Gormley coming off of a win on the truck program at Dover. By the way, he was the Dover truck winner a couple of weeks ago. So if there's anybody that's got some momentum, it's got to be him. And Gormley comes down to the line. He will be locked at 4th. 23:35. Right now, 4th best in qualifying. Joshua Marcy, 23:29. Clock is now ticking under, closing in on 10 minutes remaining in qualifying. Gormley, one more shot at it coming down the line. Will he improve from 4th? He will not. 23:35, still the best lap for the driver of the number 22. Qualifying continuing on here for the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series. Close to 30-plus cars here. Here's B.J. Tendrick, Darlington and Vegas winner of the Northwest Cup Series back in 2020. And the In-N-Out Burger number 72 Chevrolet now on clock, Jason.
Yeah, and he's looking to try to have a good run here in that number 72 In-N-Out Burger. Camaro, we'll have to see where he is. Got a little bit loose right there off turn number. Really, his biggest execution is how he's going to be able to get down to that bottom. So this first lap, don't really think it's going to be it for him. He's going to have to be really good here on this second lap. Really loose across the line, 23.661 right there at the line, 24th. He just can't get down there on the bottom of the racetrack. Car is tight on entry, probably not laying off enough, and it's looking very loose off the corner. B.J. Tendrick more than likely going to be deep in the field here in qualifying.
Yeah, it definitely looks that he's fighting that car exiting off the corner, and it's making that car want to drive up to the safer barrier as he comes across the start-finish line. He will stay locked in 24th, and now he'll climb to 16th outside the top 15. That's an improvement, but they're going to have to really do some thrashing and adjustments on the car. It looks like qualifying is about to conclude. Joshua Marcy, the Tennessee driver, with the pole with a 23.29. And these drivers will now prepare to go on track round number 8 tonight here at Dover. Starting lineup, Go Vols for Terry Radford, Joshua Marcy on the pole, Devin West on the outside of the 5, the truck winner on the dirt at Knoxville Monday night. Sean Brightsman, most recent winner at Mid-Ohio, he'll start third of the 46. Ryan Gormley, Dover truck winner, he's 4th. Row 3, Ryan Bloom, he's got 2 wins on the year in the Cup, or the Truck Series. And Kevin Smith looking to try to have a solid day in the Walla Walla Washington 00. Brian Reynolds in the 12, and the legend Frank Harris, he's been improving. He'll fire off in 8th. Top 10. Jason, it's going to be Christopher Wine in the 47, and Clifford Toby Ritters, Win Racing, he'll start 10th.
20, row number 6, Jaden Ledbetter and William Fletcher in the 28 machine. Row number 7, LSRTV Zone, Jeff Stabnow and Paul Newton, the road course king in the 27. Row 8, Dan West Jr. and BJ Tendrick in the 72. Row number 9, John Ottenbacher and the Catman James Vining in the 333 machine. Top 20, Tyler King, last year's truck champion, and Zach Rush in the 82.
Row 11, Brett Johnson in the 7 and Stephen O'Hare in the 41. Row 12, Gary Nichols and Carl Burt. Row 13 will be Chris Kynes and Chad Malik. Row 14 will find Seth Frazier and Bug Eyes Aaron Cooper. Top 30 will find Troy Daggett and Ron Hunter. Row 16, Scott Hutchinson, the 91. He'll fire off 31st by himself. Hey, let's look real quickly at the Kaufman Creative weather conditions, bottom right of your screen. Air temp at 65, wind speed at 2, track temp 94, partly cloudy. Kaufman Creative weather conditions on the sim at Dover. What's it going to be like as some cars roll off the pit road here now, Jason?
Well, I tell you what, Wesley, with the track being 60, or not 65, the air temp being 65 degrees and the track temp being 94 degrees, that is a huge difference. That's almost 30 degrees difference right there. And I guarantee you that track's only going to get hotter with the way that these guys lay down rubber and continue to put fast, blistering lap times on this racetrack. On Monday, it was a little bit cooler, so there was a little bit more grip, but the cars were still loose for the next gens in the NASCAR Cup Series. But today, for the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series, these guys, lower downforce, higher horsepower a little bit in a sense. These guys are going to be slipping and sliding, and boy, oh boy, it's going to be a fun race for sure.
Should be a good one. We're glad you're here. Miles, the Munster 1 mile concrete oval. Almost 24 degrees of banking in the corners. Pace car peels on to pit road, and we are ready for the field to come to the Geico restart zone for the initial start. 120 laps. Gormley got checked up on the outside lane from row 3. And you have a race, and we are underway as they all get back straight and narrow into 1 and 2. Nope, we're under caution. Yellow is out. We got them stacking up behind them. And we got a couple of cars, Jason, that have wrecked to the back on the front straightaway. They did not get a lap in.
Yeah, I want to know who that was really right there on the start. By the looks of it, it could be Chad Malik. It could be some other guys. And it was Chad Malik. So we're going to take a look here at the replay. Right down the front straightaway. It was probably heading into turn 1. So you see, oh, big checkup. It's Stefan O'Hare goes around in front of the field. It's Chris Kynes, Chad Malik. That was a very, very interesting issue.
Tough break there for the Nicole Bryan photo. Number 41, Stefan O'Hare. Here's a look at it on replay again. They come to the start. Remember, this checked up the outside lane when Ryan Gormley spun the tires, and this is the outcome of it. And then everybody binding into Johnson, checking up. Nichols had to get on the binders. He gets into 41 of O'Hare going around. Kynes, others involved. And there's your caution on lap number 1. Miles the Monster already chomping at drivers on the opening go lap here, Joshua. Jason,
yeah,
sorry.
I mean, it's just, it happens. But what, yeah, no, that's just an interesting start. A product, really, of Dover Racing. You saw back in 2016, I believe it was. Yeah, I think it was 2016. Yes, it was 2016. Restart. Jimmy Johnson, the thing just dropped a gear and all of a sudden just went around in front of the whole field, stacked them up. That's a product of Dover Racing. It is very normal on restarts, Wesley, to really wad them up here into turn 1. Haven't really seen it in a long time here, but it's definitely something that happens on the sim all the time. So I expect those to maybe be an issue possibly all night. And also another corner to look out for right off turn number 2, right underneath the Dryden Bridge right there. Coming off to that wall on the outside comes at you quicker than you think, and it is very easy to bounce off of it. And then down the back straightaway, when they start scattering everywhere and flying apart, there is nowhere to go.
Yeah, this track, though big in width, it seems like when calamity happens, that distance just grows shorter by the second. And then you literally have everybody just piling in one into one to everybody. So there you go. Kyle, I agree. I like Whataburger. I wish they built one in North Carolina. That's all I'm going to tell you. I know it's a Texas, Mississippi, Arkansas thing. I've had it before. Good food. All right. Lights are off for the pace car. Correction, they're still on the pace car. Hopefully we'll get one together this time by Jason.
Yeah, hopefully we will. You know, because I want to see some racing. I mean, 120 laps here at Dover goes by very, very fast. So, I mean, what you really want to do here once these guys get that green flag run going is you want to make sure that you have those tires really, really, really on conservation mode. Because, I mean, the harder you drive it here at Dover, the harder you drive it deep into 1 and 3. I mean, you're going to slide up the track. You're going to burn that right front up. You want to take care of that right front all night long.
Understanding they should be coming around to the 1 to go indication this time by. Obviously, we want to get some. Yes, bring Whataburger to Raleigh. Yes, Kyle, I agree. 1 to go. Lights should go off for the pace car this time by. We've got 3 laps completed, and they've mostly been done under caution. Phil to get ready to come back to the Geico restart zone in just a moment. We'll set them up for the restart here. Joshua Marcy, the leader. Devin West on the outside. Sean Brightsman, Ryan Bloom, Brian Reynolds, your top 5. Ryan Gormley, again, who spun the tires on row 3 on the outside lane that kind, if you will, Jason, kind of started that accident, but he was able to then get back straight and narrow and save the car. But that kind of bottlenecked the field behind them for O'Hare and company.
Yeah, and you know, that's just really what happens here at Dover. You know, you get squirrely, you make contact with people trying to really get down that narrow front straightaway down into 1, and also really you know, you're still getting through the gears. So it's just a product of this racetrack, unfortunately. I mean, they don't call it the concrete canyon for nothing. The Miles, the Monster, the Monster Mile. You know, there's so many names for this place. It's such a great track. I absolutely love it. And these guys should be putting on one heck of a show here tonight.
Ready to go back to it on the concrete mile, the concrete jungle. That is Dover Motor Speedway. Pace car is onto the pit lane. They're filled back in the Geico restart box. Green flag back in the air. And Marcy with a great jump on the field. White also tries to reel in Reynolds. He'll carry Ryan Bloom up the racetrack. Here comes Gormley to the bottom of the racetrack on the inside for the first time out of turn 2 at speed.
Formally inside of the racetrack, heading into 3, right in tow with Brightsman. You can just see right now how fast these guys are. RSV right on board with Sean Brightsman, currently in the 3rd spot. Gormley, though, still putting some pressure and putting some fire right now on Ryan Bloom here as they work their way off turn number 2.
That's on board with Sean Brightsman from the rear deck lid of his car 46, and all the while, Toyota, Chevrolet, Gormley, the red Toyota, the Chevrolet 25, Ryan Bloom, they battle with one another. This also opens the door for Brian Reynolds to try to sneak into that big scissor single file down on lap 7.
Yeah, Brian Reynolds almost tried to put the 22 under fire right there in the center of 3 and 4. You saw the 22 was on the inside of Bloom there, heading into turn number 3, got loose, slid up the track, and then was caught by the front bumper of the 12 of Brian Reynolds. And there is also Nashville Super Speedway's winner here from just a few weeks ago, Chris White, having a solid night here so far for only having 8 laps completed right now. But really, it's still anybody's game. But Josh Marcy still by about half a second or more right now over Devin West for the race lead as they work their way into 3 and 4.
Joshua Marcy still the leader. There's that battle now that's heated up between Reynolds, Brian Reynolds, and the 12 machine. Here comes now Onenbacher and Tidrick now having a battle. We got trouble. Seth Frazier into the fence. Got tagged by Ron Hunter. Couple of other cars get collected. Yellow flag will fly coming off of turn number 4. Calamity, and yellow flag out for the 2nd time. This will give us a replay here. We had just zoomed in on the battle between James Vining and Seth Frazier, and all the while it just come undone. Look at this. Nichols shot up the track, made Vining check up. Vining gets plowed into by Frazier. Airborne goes Hunter. He's into the inside safer wall barrier to the pit lane. 2 cautions now. By the way, perfect segue. Our caution information and race summary presented by Virginia 811. Call before you dig. Bottom left of the screen. There it is. 2 cautions, 5 caution laps. No lead changes yet because the Toyota number 35 of Tennessee's Joshua Marcy is still led from the drop of the green.
Yeah, and Josh Marcy's really, you know, obviously wanting to get racing, see what his car has, you know, and I mean, but at the same time, he's behind the virtual driver's seat. He's probably liking what he's seeing, you know, right now. I mean, obviously, he's leading this race, and he keeps on having opportunities to get out there and have a comfortable lead in a sense, unless he gets put under fire on the restarts. But so far, for the restarts, or the start and then the restart we had so far, hasn't really been challenged. But I mean, he definitely wants to try to get at least one good, solid green flag run in just to see probably how he feels when the car comes into a long run effect.
Oh, Joshua Marcy, the man that currently leads the way right now. 2nd, Devin West. 3rd is Sean Brightsman, Ryan Bloom, Ryan Gormley, the top 5. And to be honest with you, Jason, we've just not been able to get any good solid racing going. We've just been having caution after caution here for the 2nd time. And once they kind of get excited and start racing hard, we have a yellow flag.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually how it goes on the sim. You know, some you know, series, they'll either go green all the way, or sometimes it'll just be a caution fest. And another track that I would really compare this to, honestly, is Bristol. I mean, because you're just going so fast for the short distance that you're covering for just a lap. I mean, it only takes 23 seconds to get around here on a fresh set of tires. And then Bristol, it's like 15, 16-second lap times. So you're flying around those 2 racetracks. One's the world's fastest half mile, and one's a concrete mile oval. So, I mean, put it the way you want, you know. But I mean, like I said, it's either you're racing green flag the whole time, and there's like 1 or 2 cautions or sometimes none, or there's just a lot of cautions. And hopefully that's not the case here tonight for a lot of cautions. Hopefully these guys can get into a rhythm where they start feeling out the tire wear and getting a grip on these fixed setup Xfinity Series B cars. But right now, Josh Marsh is doing a great job on the restarts that he's had, or the start and the restart he's had so far. But maybe Devin West or Sean Breitzman will have something here for him on this restart coming up.
All right, let's try this again. We're ready for the field to get ready for a restart here. 13 of 120 laps. We'll try to bring him back to green. Round 8 tonight. Back underway.
Marcy has a great restart.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, my friend. They're sending it off into turn number 1. They got a battle there for second between Breitzman and West off the 2.
Yeah, and Breitzman was able to just clear Devin West right there off turn number 2. You see a lot of guys jockeying around for position. You got 2, 3 wide, sideways, tight, whatever, you name it. The monster provides everything here as Brian Reynolds just squeezes in front of Kevin Smith there off turn number 4. And Kevin Smith so far. Oh, we got a wreck. Ryan Gormley around.
Wow.
Ryan Bloom. The 12's around. Oh, my goodness.
No, he didn't. He saved it. Ryan
Yell's
Gormley
out.
got tagged in the left rear by Blue, but he saved it and kept it straight. Wow.
Caution's out.
My goodness, another caution. Here's a replay. Jason, you saw it break loose, man. Dover truck runner Ryan Gormley. Look at this. Oh, man, he got the left rear of Bloom.
The 25 came right down in front of Gormley.
Is that Ritters?
Know. No, Toby was right there at the top of the racetrack. I don't know if he got involved.
Yeah, I think he got into Gormley, bud. I think he did.
Man.
Oh, man.
I don't know what the 25 was doing right there down the street. I don't know if he didn't know that the 22, because look, watch this. You'll see the 25 jerk to left right there. Goes around in front of the field. Great aerial shot here. Yeah, and Ritters backs it down. Yeah, got involved just a little bit. Oh, and a hard hit there for Paul Newton in the 27.
Yeah, Paul Newton up on the top there, on the top left there. Wow. Oh, my goodness.
That was very interesting. Those are 2 heavy hitters too there, Wesley.
Let's bring back the Virginia 811 caution summary, because I think we had 4 cautions now. And, yeah, 3 cautions, 16 laps on the board. 9 of 16 laps so far, Jason, have been under caution. Wow. That brought to you by Virginia 811, reminding you to call before you dig.
Yeah, that's it. And like we talked about right there, Wesley, before the previous restart, it's just a product of this track, man. You either have good racing or you have good racing, but with a lot of wrecks. And unfortunately, that's just a product. And plus, you got to remember, too, these cars are so fast here. They're so hard to control. I mean, just it's hard to really say about the racing here, depending on the drivers you have and the cars, the setups, depending on if you're fixed, open, what you like on the car, if you've had enough practice time. Like I said, though, hopefully we can get in some green flag racing here, but this is definitely a troublesome track for a lot of drivers, and Miles is definitely not done eating yet, probably for sure here tonight.
Yeah. Miles the Munster is definitely churning, no doubt, right now. He's not happy. Oh, and by the way, your decals on your car make you faster, too, according to our producer. He said, oh, my, okay. Well, we'll try this again. We're not done yet. Understanding that the 55 of Dan West Jr., two-time Truck Series champion of the Northwest, started the race, but then parked it. And he's out. Start and park for the 55 there. That's tough on the points for the Shelton Washington driver there, Jason.
Yeah, that's unfortunate now, you know, because, I mean, a lot of guys, they just don't want to deal with Dover here tonight, and I don't blame them.
Ready to go back to the green flag here. How many more cars or Miles the Munster in the concrete jungle going to chomp up here? We're only on lap 19 of 120. They're going to be coming to lap number 20 this time by lap 19 when they cross the line here. Marcy and West. There's Jeff Stabnow and Christopher White. Oh, there's contact. Oh, no. Jeff Stabnow into the left rear. White collected. He gets slammed into by Frank Harris. The other car, it happened so fast I lost visual. And there's caution number 4, Jeff Stabnow. Oh, it was Ryan. It was Tyler King. Oh my goodness, oh Jason, here we go again. What happened? Got to the left rear, just drove a little too aggressive, Jeff Stabnow did.
Yeah, Jeff just got really tight. Oh my goodness, and that took out a lot of cars. Oh my goodness, we didn't even see this in the first. I have no words, man. That's just a product of Dover, a product of guys. Just, you know, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Vining involved again. It looks like Ritter's got collected. James Vining caught up in it. And what's turned out to be maybe a 1 or 2 car accident turns into a big one on the front straightaway. 100 laps to go. Jeff Stabnow on pit road. The only saving grace, if you will, Jason, is that he's got a fast repair.
Yeah, well, he might have to, you know, use another one if he had one, you know, another one. But right now he's going to have to use that fast repair, and it's going to be hard for him to get up towards the front of the field. He's going to have to be very careful with who he passes, when he passes, and make sure that he checks his mirrors and such here off the corners, because it is going to be very hard to get to the front. Track position means everything here so far, and I mean, the monster's always lurking, and people are always spinning out here.
Wow, another caution. I feel like I'm at a racetrack that's turned into a demolition derby. Survival, I think, Jason, might be the key when it's all said and done here tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, and already, we already have only 23 cars on the lead lap, and not to mention that some of those 23 cars are on pit road right now. Getting damage repaired. So this is going to turn into about half the field ending up going more than a lap down, more than likely, depending on when they choose to come and go down pit road. I mean, but man, there's a lot of guys there, and I mean a lot of guys that were involved in those last few cautions that were heavy hitters.
It has no doubt just been calamity. Since the drop of the green flag, more caution laps have been ran than green flag laps. Hopefully we can settle in for a long green flag run. We're coming up on the top of the hour. We'll pause for 10 seconds of radio identification and be right back with you. The Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series from Dover Motor Speedway. This is CRN, the Community Radio Network.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
.22 of 120 laps in, under 100 laps to go. Welcome back to coverage from Dover Motor Speedway for the round 8 of the virtual Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series. I'm Wesley Outland. Jason Rockefeller is alongside Charles Wooten in the CLICKIT RV Rocket Racing Media production trailer, the mobile unit, and it has been Miles the Monster virtually chomping his ugly head, snarling, growling, and demolishing every car in the path if you will, so far on the 1 mile concrete track in the opening 25 laps, Jason.
Yeah, Miles is pretty hungry here tonight. I want to say that Miles might have been the star of 127 Hours with James Franco, where James Franco's character didn't eat for days on end because he was stuck in a canyon. So maybe Miles was part of 127 Hours. But all jokes aside, man, hopefully these guys can get some green flag racing in, because I really love this track. I want to see these guys put on a show for these virtual fans here, and also the fans listening and watching at home on on our social media platforms, is also the CRN Community Radio Network. So, I mean, it's Dover. I mean, what else can you expect? You're either going to get a really good race, or you're going to get a wreck fest that could be a good race. So, hopefully we can turn it around here.
We'll see what happens, as the field is being told that they're going to get back to the green flag. 24 laps completed, working lap 25, when they come back to the Geico restart zone. Yet, still a lot of racing left to go. Green flag back out at Dover.
Marcy, great start right there. And Brightsman trying to clear Reynolds there down to turn 1. He will. Here comes Jaden Ledbetter flying past Zach Rush there. Everybody single files out to the back straightaway. Ottenbacher nearly pops the wall off too. But everybody cool, calm, and collected here as they work their way off 4.
Nice way of putting it in. The triple C's need to be in effect, no doubt, as we're closing in on about, if you will, 35 laps to halfway. Johnson shot up the racetrack just a moment. Ledbetter now getting some company from Rush and company. This is going on with Fletcher in the top 10. 5th, 6th, 7th going to the 3.
Yeah, and you see Ledbetter right there, right over Zach Rush, who's having a good night so far here tonight, plus 14 from where he started, currently 6th in that number 82 machine. And behind him as well, William Fletcher, like you talked about, John Ottenbacher back there. There's Brett Johnson having a solid night so far. I believe he was caught up in a wreck earlier on, so was Paul Newton. And Paul is already working his way back up towards the front. So is Seth Frazier, another one who was involved in a wreck earlier on. So some of the guys who opted to take that fast repair, or had to, there from some of the cautions. And just like that, we are under caution again.
Another yellow flag will fly, this one for the 5th time. And they'll back them down on the back straightaway. Here's a look at your replay of what happened here. Jeff Stab now aggressively trying to get back to the front. Toby Ritter's into the 41 of O'Hare. They check up in front of each other again, down below the apron. Clifford having some bad night tonight also, if you will. Man, oh man.
Yeah, I think everybody but
Jason.
the top 4 to 5 probably have had damage here tonight so far.
And the hits just keep on coming, as they always say. Wow. Well, shrug it off. Get back out there. Man, oh man. We got a replay there of what just happened between Ritters and O'Hare, and those drivers involved in an accident earlier in the race as well. Jason, we saw cars tightening up, having problems in qualifying. Could this be the result of why it's being this race so far? The handling, not figuring out the handling on this car? Or is it just driving aggressively too early, you think?
Honestly, Wesley, I think it's a little bit of both. Plus also the fact that the track temps were at 95 degrees. So obviously it's going to get a little bit hotter. You know, the more that these guys lay rubber down on the racetrack and stuff like that, but still with it being 95 degrees, this being the Xfinity Series package on these cars, I mean, and then honestly, to be honest, yeah, aggressive driving. This is not a track that a lot of guys tend to race on. It's not a track that a lot of guys tend to be in favor of. And at the end of the day, it's just this troublesome track. You're either really good at it or you're really bad at it. And I hate to be frank, but it's the truth. I mean, I myself, I've always been a guy that on the iRacing surface that I've loved going to Dover, man. It's hard to pass, don't get me wrong, and it can be boring sometimes. But if you know what you're doing, you can enjoy the racetrack and appreciate it for being what we all call it, as a driver's racetrack. This is not a multi-groove type racetrack. This is not a racetrack where, you race your setup, you race other drivers. No, man, you are racing the track. Miles the Monster has provided this 1 mile concrete surface for you, and you are to abide by his rules, the way the track surface is, the way the weather is, and obviously this is all metaphoric, but it's the truth, man. This track is a driver's racetrack. That's why some drivers, both in the sim and in real life, you either love it or you hate it. Like I said earlier, there is no in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, it can have a love-hate relationship, no doubt. And I know for one reason right now, the Tennessee driver, the Toyota Supra of Mr. 35, Joshua Marcy, has to be loving Miles the Monster and Dover for the moment, because he's been up in the front. Here comes more massive cloud cover under caution again. Devin West just kind of lying in the weeds, man, if you will, but just playing possum. And I don't even think any of them have even thought about going to pit road yet, Jason. It's just too early.
Yeah, definitely too early. And with all the cautions that we're having and the amount of caution lights, these guys can hold in the clutch and turn off the cars so easily, and you will not have to pit. I mean, these guys won't be able to go all the way on fuel, I don't believe. But, I mean, it's going to be awfully close now with the fact that we've gone 32 laps and that they've had a lot of opportunities to save fuel here.
Well, all of that transpiring again. It has been a wild one here tonight, no doubt. And we're not done yet. Just the beginning here. Just after 31 laps. And again, still a lot of this racing remaining. Let's go back for the restart. Again, Marcy West front row, Pointsman Reynolds row 2, Ledbetter Rush row 3. Some new names climbing up there, new fish in the top 10. Ledbetter, Adebacher, Fletcher, Newton, top 10 along with Frazier. And cloudy now, cloudy over the track. If it just couldn't have made it worse with handling, we'll find out. Pace car is on pit road. They're back in the Geico restart zone and they're in the gas. Marcy is gone again. Quickly, Jason climbs the outside, safer barrier into turn number 2.
Yeah, and Sean Brightsman able to get past Devin West for the second position, and actually might challenge Marcy here for the first time all night long. We might have a chance for the race lead right here as Sean Brightsman gets right to the bumper of Marcy there, heading into turn number 4, and also Devin West right in tow. Those guys, 1, 2, 3, red car, blue car, as Dr. Seuss would say, as they all work their way off too.
Changing of the guard. It feels like darkness is settling in here at Dover, but it's just the massive cloud cover. Lap 33, look at Rush fighting that car. Reynolds right there behind him. Ledbetter leading the fray in the High Rock Vodka throwback color of the two-time Hickory Motor Speedway late model champion Landon Huffman's ride.
Yeah, and that's always a beautiful looking ride too. Love to have me some High Rock Vodka with some Sun Drop. Always a good combination. Wish we had High Rock up here in Jersey, but thankfully I was able to get a bottle of that when I went to Florida in January. Always some good stuff. But yeah, these guys really starting to race right now. Hopefully we can get green, as I almost say that. Ryan Gormley almost ran right into the back of the road course king Paul Newton there, heading into 1. And there's Seth Frazier back behind him. Some of these guys already have had to use that fast repair. So they're definitely, Wesley, going to be on edge and race a little bit more carefully, knowing that they cannot rely on that fast repair if they do wreck.
Somehow, some way, they save it. 36 laps in now, Paul Newton. Remember when he just tattooed the safer barrier going into turn 2 from the contact? Now he's got a fast repair. He's right back in the dance in that 27 machine, trying to get around Ottenbacher. And Gormley will follow. This is to get back into the top 10. And finally, Sunshine on My Shoulder coming back out as they work into turn number 2.
Yes, sunshine, virtual sunshine on our virtual shoulders from the virtual booth at Dover Motor Speedway. But these guys are starting to get really, really racy. You see Ryan Gormley right there under fire from Seth Frazier on the inside of the racetrack. Behind him, the legend Frank Harris as well. Zach Rush jumping back just a bit. They're almost 3 wide. Gormley throws it down into the corner. Paul Newton had to use the apron practically to get around Ottenbacher. That opens up the door for Frazier. And also the legend Frank Harris there in the number 11 machine, working to the bottom of Gormley as they work their way into 3 and 4.
Boy, you talk about aggressive. That was a very aggressive move as finally the clouds part, the sun back out, shadows on the cars here at Virtual Dover, and we are 1/3 of the way through when they come back to the line. 40 laps in, 80 to go, 20 to halfway in where the first third of this race has been yellow flag calamity. The leaders work off of 4. It's Marcy and Brightsman now for the lead into 2.
Yeah, Marcy right now trying everything he can do to hold off Sean Brightsman. You see Sean gets a little bit loose there off turn number 2, but he's able to hold the bottom a lot better than Marcy through 1 and 2, and also a little bit of 3 and 4. And also these two get together as you see a big lot of cars back here again as we continue to look at Ryan Gormley just struggle here tonight. Dover, Frazier up and into the wall. The 21 of King has to go to the bottom. So does the 24 of Stabnow. That could have been huge there off of turn number 4. Lots and lots of prominent guys all into the wall here at Dover tonight. Everybody who's been so strong all season is really struggling to tame the monster tonight.
I gotta ask you, Jason, with the exception of maybe Marcy, Brightsman, West, every other car in some shape or form have been involved in an accident, would you say?
Yeah, pretty much. Gormley's in the wall again off the corner, and wow, what a job right there by Tyler King to get to the inside of the racetrack. Same with Seth Frazier. They avoid Ryan Gormley. Man, I tell you what, Wesley, we talk about it, and I joke about it, that Ryan Gormley is your prodigy because you always are praising how good of a job he's done for one of his upcoming seasons here in the Northwest Division for the CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series. But man, oh man, he has had a rough night here tonight so far at Dover.
And remember, Ryan Gormley was the winner of the truck race on a Monday night here at Dover 2 weeks ago. Not tonight. Struggling through a big gaggle of traffic. Kevin Smith on the binders. Gormley trying to clear a path. This is Stabnow. 3 wide in the middle, Stabnow. He thought about it. Pulls to the bottom.
Yeah.
Trying to go after Frazier, trying to clear by Frazier. Stabnow with Smith. Smith trying to get by Rush and Gormley off of 4. Johnson and Nichols will follow.
This is so tight off the corners, Wesley. Rush almost hit the wall, and then the 22 almost bounced off the 82 there off turn number 4. Man, Zach Rush, I want to know what he did. He must have killed that right front fender because that 82 machine went from going from the top 5, top 10. He is all the way back into the 14th position now, and he is dropping like a rock as we look at Jaden Ledbetter battling with Frank Harris, the legend, man. What a great run for him here tonight. John Ottenbacher, as well as last year's truck champion Tyler King.
All of this ongoing. This is a battle that's going on for, oh man, there's Ledbetter. He's in 10th. Harris is 8th. This is King. So that's the battle for 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. You're watching with Rush also. Top at least 6 cars right there. Stabnow in that battle also. Remember, Jeff Stabnow, though, is 1 lap down, first car lap down. If a caution was to come out, he would get the free pass. If there's anybody, Jason, that wants a caution now, it's Jeff Stabnow.
Yeah, Jeff Stabnow definitely wants a caution, but I think a lot of these guys would. I tell you what, like we were talking about, one guy I think who really wants a caution is Zach Rush in the number 82 machine. That thing went from top 10 all the way back to the 20th position right now, but there's a lot of guys who are just begging and pleading for a caution, more than likely to put some tires on it.
It'll be 50 laps completed when they come to the line next time by. 70 to go, 10 to halfway. And Jason, I have to say things are finally calming down a little bit here.
Yeah, and that's a great thing to see because, like, it gets to show you the product of what this racetrack can actually do. You're starting to see everybody get very, very squirrely all over the place. You see right there Frank Harris being under fire right now from the 24 of Jeff Stabnow, who's currently 22nd up on the board. So I believe Jeff is trying to really get back on the lead lap. I think he is on the lead lap right now. But currently, you know, everybody is just racing really hard, trying to figure out this track, trying to figure out how do I save more tire, trying to figure out how the heck do they catch Joshua Marcy, who has a 0.45 second gap over Sean Weitzman in the 46 machine.
Somehow, some way, that's what you got to do. Harris bouncing off the wall as they go under the pedestrian bridge, going to 3. Climbing the 24 degrees of banking, and Kevin Smith will clear Harris now because of that slip. That, by the way, is going on for, oh my, Kevin Smith. I think he's also a lap down, in trouble in the 00. Yeah, 2 laps down. Vining on pit road, by the way. Nichols. Smoke clears Nichols and White. White's trying to get back into the stands. He's in 15th, battling Gormley and Tidrick. Another lap down car.
Yeah, and I mean, in the 47 machine, he is struggling as well, too. He was up there in the top 4 at one point here tonight, but here he is right down in the 16th position. Yeah, I mean, he's just trying to find whatever he can do to try to make sure that that car grips the racetrack. He barely brushes the wall there going into turn number 3 right now. But a lot of guys here, though, Wesley, really struggling for lack of grip and also just because it's just such a hard racetrack to drive.
Chris White, CWR Camaro, now 16th, trying to climb back. He had some problems earlier in the race as well. 56 of 120 laps. Don't forget, tomorrow night we're on the dirt for the Northwest Dirt Super Late Model Series. And Jason, Road to Pro is off, right? eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifying's off next Thursday. When's the next race, bud?
Yes, the next race that we have, I believe, is coming up in just a handful of Thursdays. So not this coming Thursday, tomorrow, but next Thursday they will be taking on the Too Tough to Tame track, the Lady in Black Darlington Raceway.
There you go.
That should be a very, very fun race to watch. The trucks are always a blast to put on there, and we're getting into the nitty-gritty part of what would be round 1 of Road to Pro before they cut off a bunch of drivers and take the best 70 drivers in the points and then make them race for another handful of races and then take the top 20 that will move on to the NASCAR iRacing Pro Series, and then those top 20 from that series will move on to the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series, which will obviously be next year. So should be a fun next few weeks for us over here on LSRTV for sim racing coverage for sure.
And by the way, don't forget next Monday night, round number 9 for the Northwest Racing Series trucks presented by CLICKIT RV will be at Darlington as a Road to Pro exhibition qualifier format to prepare for the eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifier on Thursday. In 2 weeks, next Thursday night, Terry Radford, Jason Rockefeller, and Daniel Falkingham on the call. That is also simulcast not only on iRacing on LSRTV, but also on the FTN Sim Network. Halfway, when they come back to the line, it has been all Joshua Marcy. There's Brian Reynolds. He's been solid after having a couple of scares along the way in the top 5. And we are for Jason Rockefeller. I'm Wesley Outland. We've got Charles Wooten in the Rocket Racing Media CLICKIT RV mobile production truck. Finally halfway. Jason, what's your thoughts of the first half of the race? And finally a solid green flag run for about 30 laps or so now.
Yeah, I mean, we had the wrecking in the beginning, as we're going to have another one right here. Zach Rush, Josh Marcy, the leader, and the second place driver. That's huge contact right there. Oh my goodness. Devin West, huge nose damage on the front end of that number 5 Camaro, and Josh Marcy definitely should have some right side damage. Maybe we can get a shot of it, possibly, but that 35 and that 5 are lucky that they weren't fully wrecked. But this is perfect for Sean Brightsman in that 46 machine. That is just what he wanted to see.
And for a guy like Joshua Marcy, you see some of the scrapes on the side of the door. Fender crinkled up on the right front. Now he wants a caution so he can come down to pit road. But he hasn't wavered yet, though. He hasn't faltered. He still stays in speed. And he's still got about a 3/4 second lead on Devin West. He ain't stopping.
Yeah, that was actually a flying lap for Josh Marcy. That was faster than most of the guys turned last time around. So maybe Joshua Marcy didn't get as bad damage as I thought he did. And the same goes for Devin West. But, I mean, right now, Sean Brightsman is continuing to reel in Devin West. That could have been a huge moment in this race right here. It could have opened up the door for everybody.
Sean Brightsman, there he is right there now in third. He's reeled in. Devin West, if you will, for that second spot. And here comes Tidrick. That's a lap car, though, by the way. 3 laps down for the 72. Trying to clear some of these lead lap cars. Almost drove below the bottom of the apron to clear the 46. He'll finally let him have it. And I'll tell you what, and Jason, whatever damage, if damage on Marcy, the leader's car, since the drop of the green, it's not bothering him any.
Yeah, it really isn't. I mean, that last time around, he was only about, he was only about 0.02 of a second slower than Devin West, and Sean Brightsman was actually slower than the top 2 leaders. So that damage definitely is not playing a factor here so far for these guys. But here we go. Green flag pit stops are beginning. Devin West, first one to take a march onto pit road here. And by the way, this is one of the trickiest pit roads in NASCAR, going from such a high banked concrete surface all the way down to a slow speed onto an apron to reach the pit road.
Jason, do you think Devin's going for the undercut? And also, could this be the money stop of the race?
Yes, definitely. I believe so. I mean, when you look at the fall off from the best lap compared to the last laps that they've had, these guys have fallen off almost by 2 seconds. So by the 5 pitting, he can make up that time on Joshua Marcy and also Sean Brightsman for them staying out right here. The worst thing that could happen to the 5 right now, though, knock on wood, is if a caution came out. He does not want to see a caution, because if that's the case, he's going to get trapped the lap down, and all his undercutting strategy was all for nothing.
Devin West 1 lap down. Here comes the leader, Joshua Marcy, peeling down onto pit road. He's got to have a flawless pit stop. Jason, he's pulling up in front of you.
Yeah, and here comes Joshua Marcy rolling down pit road, the guy who's been dominating all day long. He's going to probably right here take 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles, a little bit of fuel to make it all the way to the end. Now the big question's going to be is where will he end up in front of the 5 of Devin West, because that's the biggest question. The 5's been so fast. Marcy hasn't been able to really get away from him, but with the undercut that Devin West took, it might just be enough to try to grab him the race lead. As here comes Marcy off pit road, waiting to see the 5 machine. There he goes. The 5 has gotten past Marcy, so the undercut looks to have worked for Devin West.
What we mean by that is now Johnson peels off onto the pit lane. So does Ottenbacher. Nichols and Rush on pit road as well in the 82 and 8. What we mean by that is, by the way, Seth Frazier on pit road as well. Devin West was able to clear by the driver of Joshua Marcy, which means when the scoring pylon updates after everything cycles through, with green flag pit stops on lap 74, 120. Jason, that when it finally cycles back around to them being on the lead lap up in the front, it's going to be Devin West up in front now of Marcy. The question is, how fast can he pull away from it?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to do something miraculous right here. I mean, if he wants to try to pull out from Josh Marcy. But I mean, like we talked about before, and I mentioned, Josh Marcy really was never able to really fully drive away from Devin West. I mean, I think Devin West could very well maintain, or if not, pull away from Marcy if they do cycle back out to the lead.
For some reason, Brian Reynolds is back on pit road again. I'm wondering if he's going to suffer a penalty for the number 12. He's back on track. Here comes now Ledbetter and Ritter's battling. This is for fourth. They've not pitted yet, though. Oh, boy. Ledbetter getting loose there is flying by was Devin West. Clear a path, and on the apron comes Ledbetter to pit road.
Yeah, Ledbetter's working his way to pit road. Got to be careful. Don't speed. Backs it down just enough. Gets past the the yellow barrels, the sand barrels, water barrels, whatever you want to call them. Here, we've seen multiple drivers hit that throughout the years at Dover. We almost saw Harrison Burton end up there on Monday. That could have been big. We've seen in the past Jeffrey Earnhardt back a few years ago. He spun out right into those barrels. Very, very, very big possibility that could happen here when these guys do come into pit road. But you want to know something right now, Wesley, that's really making the interest for me is the fact that these guys have drivers down the racetrack that have pitted, and there's also drivers who have not pitted. So that really brings up the question is, how do I get around these slower guys? And for the slower guys is, how do I make sure that I know to pick the right lane for when these faster guys start coming through? And if these guys don't work together and talk to one another, and also, you know, go over the radio comm chat and say, hey man, go to the bottom, go to the top, I'll let you have inside, outside, whatever it may be, you could have calamity. And then the strategy for Sean Brightsman or Paul Newton or Tyler King right now that are all staying out, that could work for them if they get a yellow.
Of 120 laps, 20 laps after halfway, closing in, if you will, on 2/3 of the way, and a 40-lap shootout on deck. We're going to go side by side. You don't miss a thing. For those on radio, we'll take a timeout. We're back in a moment. Coverage from Dover Motor Speedway, the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Series. This is iRacing on LSRTV and CRN, the Community Radio Network.
At CLICKIT RV, we know there's a lot of heritage and history at this location. RV sales and service has been part of this community for decades. We knew there was an incredible opportunity here, but to see where we've come in just a year is incredible. None of it would be possible without the patronage and support from this community. So whether it be a more convenient and accessible service drive, a fully stocked parts department, or this amazing sales facility, what drives this team daily is making sure our customers leave here with the best possible experience.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Oh, wow. 86 of 120 laps. Welcome back. If you only knew the conversations we have during commercial break. He's Jason Rockefeller. I am Wesley Outland. And we're ready to go to the final quarter of the distance. Charles Wood has done a phenomenal job giving you the video images. I've painted the picture and radio for what's happened here. We're closing in on 87 of 120. And Jason, we had the long green flag run, which I predicted. Remember, I told you I had a feeling it was coming. And in addition to that, green flag pit stops.
Yeah, and it's been interesting to see how these guys went from being an absolute demolition derby show to an actual racing series, which is, you know, I hate to say that, but it was the truth, unfortunately. I just call it like I see it like it is. And I want to just point out something really interesting right here. Tyler King and Sean Brightsman. Sean Brightsman, obviously last week's winner, and obviously he's already got 2 wins this year. One at Homestead, and he won back just last week at Mid-Ohio. And then Tyler King, I believe Tyler King, if I'm correct, won in that Band-Aid car in Texas. So both of these guys are trying to go for a strategy call. I think what they're hoping is that a caution comes out and then they can trap the entire field a lap down just so they can keep their track position.
That would be only 2 cars on the lead lap, Sean Brightsman and Tyler King. The question is, will they get a caution? Ryan Gormley, by the way, on the pit lane. Here comes Kevin Smith on pit road as well. We are still seeing about a 30-lap run of green flag cycle of pit stops. Sean Brightsman says, I've had enough. I'm coming in.
And that was tight right there, Wesley. I want to know maybe if he might have got a speeding penalty right there. That was awfully close getting to pit road.
All right, here they come. This is what we were telling you about, the cycling on pit road. Brightsman and King, it'll cycle back around the leaders of Devin West and Joshua Marcy. And in just a few moments on that top left of the screen, your ticker will update and you will see the distance. Not even half a second from Marcy to West there for the lead. As we see Brightsman on pit road, he's about to exit here any moment.
Yeah, and there he goes right there. And hey, can we just give a big shout out? Look who is in the 3rd spot. What a night it would be if Frank Harris, the legend, could come home in a P3 spot. I just want to say, Frank Harris, when I first came on LSRTV, just towards the middle part of last year, Frank Harris was always mid to back pack, and Frank would struggle and be involved in either his own incidents or other people's. And Frank has done a fantastic job these last handful of races, from being in the top 5 to top 10. Here he is at one of the hardest racetracks to drive that lots of drivers hate, lots of drivers despise, and the guy's running P3. Sure, he's 18 seconds back, but I mean, the hell with it. He's doing such a good job right now, running in P3. This has got to feel like a win here tonight for Frank.
Yeah, no doubt about it. What a way for him to carry all that momentum still for the driver of the 11, Frank Harrison. A solid run. Here comes now another great battle brewing. Chris White, Audenbacher trying to get by Fletcher. This is the battle going on as Fletcher's in trouble, man. He's sliding away. How about Brightsman coming down to pit road and only, I think he took 2 tires and fuel. That was it, Jason. That's it for the 46.
Yeah, I'm gonna right now as they keep on flying around this 1 mile concrete oval. I'm looking right now at the pit times, and actually no, he took 4 tires when they all came into the pits, and actually this could play a big factor for Sean Brightsman. The fact that he came in, pitted, and he was able to maintain that 4th spot. I mean, he's only 19 seconds back, and he pitted right now 79, 89. He pitted about over 20 laps after Devin West. So he has more than 20 lap fresher tires. I would not be surprised if Sean Brightsman is able to drive up through the field and win this race, because right now he's less than 19 seconds back. This time by at the line, I'm going to see where the 46 slots in on time. That time by the leader, Devin West, ran a 25:15. Sean Breitzman, on the other hand, a 23:93. So he is over a second faster than the leaders, and we have more than 17 laps to go. So if you do the math, if he continues to gain a second every lap, Sean Breitzman is going to get there.
Only 1 second separates Devin West to Joshua Marcy. 16 seconds, under 15 seconds now, closing in on Breitzman to the top two. Sean Breitzman is in stealth mode, if you will, here at the virtual Dover Motor Speedway. Go time indeed. This time out, they come to the line. It'll be this time out, they come to the line. It'll be 20 laps to go and 100 laps on the board here, Jason.
I think he's going to get him, Wesley. I really do. I think Sean Breitzman's going to get it. If he just doesn't run it super, super hard, and he's able to just kind of keep on running that bottom and being cool, calm, collective, and consistent, I think Sean Breitzman can get there. I really, really do.
He gets a caution, and he's going to be in business. If not, he's literally cut off 3 seconds distance in the last 2 laps on the leaders. And by the way, Devin West has opened up a 1.5 second lead on Marcy in second.
Yeah, and I mean, Devin West took the undercut by pitting only about a lap earlier than Joshua Marcy, if I'm correct. 2 laps, actually. But it just goes to show you how much fresh tires mean here at Dover. It's crazy the fact that Josh Marcy can be leading by over half a second to over a second and a half over Devin West. Devin could pit 2 laps earlier, lead Prog him in the pits.
Closing in on 11.5 seconds on the leaders. Breitzman is in third, and also West and Marcy, Jason, are about to start overcoming lap traffic. Back marker cars in front of the leaders, and if that wasn't enough, here comes another dose of massive cloud cover to decide the finish.
Yeah, and it's getting awfully close right now. Josh Marcy's closing in a little bit on Devin West, but man, Sean Breitzman, 16 laps to go, man. It's getting almost under 11 seconds right now. This is going to be interesting, and what we thought was going to be a demo derby possibly in the beginning of this race has turned into a survival type race, but at the same time, it has now turned into a hit strategy race. Sean Breitzman is flying right now.
He's cut the lead to 9.5 seconds now in the last 5 laps. He is trying all he can to run down West and Marcy. Cloud cover settling in. Lap traffic, if we can go to the leaders real quickly. West and Marcy, they are literally trying to pick off lap cars one by one. There you see it. West has got a couple of cars in front of him. Marcy's still back there.
Yeah, and Marcy is still back there, 1.34 seconds right now. So, I mean, he's still close in time right now. But, man, I keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it, man.
Oh, no!
Oh, as you see Josh Marcy up and into the wall, that's going to be a big help for some of these guys to get around Josh Marcy. That right now, there is no way that Josh Marcy is going to catch Devin West now with the damage he's got on that right front fender.
Marcy damaged his car. We got one up in the fence. William Fletcher in 28. He comes back down in front of Marcy. And we come to the line. It'll be 12 laps to go now. By the way, Breitzman back to the 46. He is now 7 seconds to the leader. 5 seconds to Marcy. Ledbetter off the pace in 36 behind King.
Yeah, and now Josh Marcy back by 2.3 seconds, continuing to drop like a rock right now on the timesheet. He is just so slow due to the right front damage. and it's closing in to just 10 laps to go now. And things are starting to equalize for Sean Breisman on the timesheets as well. He was only about that time around about 0.4 of a second, if not 5 quicker than Devin West. So times are starting to slow down big time here for Sean Breisman, but the gap is still under 7 seconds. Only time will tell here with these last 10 laps if Breisman's going to be able to pass Marcy and if he's going to be able to get to Devin West.
By the way, under 6 seconds now. 5.5 seconds, if you will. Breisman running down the leader. 3 seconds to catching Marcy. I don't know if we can go back to the rear of Declan to the 35 car from that camera shot, but I wonder if we could. And all I gotta say is somewhere is that kill car. There he is, storming off turn 2 under the pedestrian bridge. There you see him. He's coming. Here, kitty. That's Marcy there, Jason, at the line and under 10 to go.
Yeah, and Sean's really starting to catch him, but he's running out of time, man. He's only faster right now than the field by about 0.4 of a second. I mean, he's got to get around this lap traffic as quickly as he can. I mean, if Sean somehow, some way is able to get this victory here after really taking a call that I didn't know was going to work, I mean, big round of applause tonight for Sean Breisman, but he's got to get around this lap traffic.
Let's watch him dissect it, if you will. Methodically, the Professor Sean Breisman. I think that might be his new nickname if he pulls it off. Look at it. Ritters one by one, clearing the win racing cars of Ritters and Bloom. Now he goes after Fletcher. Fletcher goes topside. On the 24 degrees of Aiken, says clear a path, have at it. 5 laps to go here at Dover. West, Marcy, Breisman. Now only 4 seconds to the leader. 1 second, he's right catching up to Marcy at a 2.
Yeah, once he hits 5 laps to go here, this time by the line, though, Sean Breisman's going to have to be faster by a second a lap every single time. He's starting to run out of time, but he's got to keep having these lap cars getting out of the way. Telling the 12, getting out of the way, man. Come on, I'm trying to race for a win right now. It's under 5 seconds right now between Sean Breisman and Devin West now. Josh Marcy right ahead of him by just a few cars. Will Sean Breisman have enough time? It's looking like it might be close, but it might not be enough tonight.
It's going to be 4 to go at the line, 4 miles remaining. I think he might be able to get to Marcy for the bridesmaid spot, but I just don't think he can run down West. West might be doing exactly what he needs to do. Breisman, though, clearing cars, clearing by Reynolds, clearing by the Machine of Kinds, now clearing by Audenbacher. 1 car left to clear, and he's going to have Marcy in his path with 3 to go here at Dover.
3 laps to go this time around. The lap times have evened out. It's looking like it's not going to be enough for Sean Breisman. Josh Marcy continuing to fall off the pace, but that's going to allow Sean Breisman to close up to the rear bumper of Marcy to try to get a second place finish. But Devin West right now, after basically leapfrogging Marcy in the pits, is taking 3 laps to go, and it's looking like here, and he's at 2 laps to go now, that Devin West is going to be a winner here tonight at Dover if he can just make it around for 1 more lap.
Hits his mark, working off the corner. He's got Ryan Gormley in front of him, the winner of the truck race at Dover. White flag in the air, 1 more lap to go. Devin West, final time into turn number 1.
Final time into turn number 1. The guy who leapfrogged him in the pits, that was Joshua Marcy, wasn't a factor, tried way too hard here, and now battle for second. Breisman's going to get past, but it's all Devin West coming to the line.
He won Knoxville in the trucks on Monday. Can you say sweep of the week? Yes. Devin West goes for a gamble on an undercut on Marcy, makes it work. Breisman got around Marcy like I predicted, but he can't run down Devin West. Devin West wins and gets another first winner of the year for the Northwest CLICKIT RV fixed setup here tonight at Dover. Wow.
What a job by Devin West, man. I mean, what a job to absolutely pass Joshua Marcy by 2 laps, taking the undercut. What a win here tonight for that number 5 machine.
Devin West, my apologies. He actually has a win here earlier this year. He actually won at Atlanta back on March 15th. He won the Atlanta race, and now he's getting hung up on the wall as they're crashing and tearing him up in the high five salute of the Northwest. His second win this year now. Can he make it back around? Look at Devin West driving the car upside down. Shower sparks on pit road. He joins Sean Brightsman now with 2 wins on the year. Look at Devin West, poor guy, man, come on. I can't even. Audenbacher and Harris. What might have been, look at, oh my, holy cow, Sean Brightsman PO'd. He tattooed the 5. Oh man.
What a night.
Well, no, Miles the Munster, if you needed to have any more crunching and pickup, you got it right there at the high five salute there. Hey, and by the way, there you see Frank Harris's car. Prop to him. A top 10, top 15 finish. He finishes 11th. Here's your unofficial results here tonight at Dover. Devin West, the winner, second win this year. Of course, again, he won in Atlanta. Sean Brightsman, 2 wins this year as well. Winner last week at Mid-Ohio. The gamble just came short by 1 spot shy. Joshua Marcy, he'll fall back to 3rd. Good valiant effort race day for him from Tennessee. Paul Newton, 4th. Tyler King, top 5. Jaden Ledbetter, Brett Johnson, Stephen O'Hare, John Audenbacher, Toby Ritters, your top 10. 7 cars on the lead lap, ironically, with the 7 of Johnson.
Yeah, and then your top 20, Frank Harris right there in 11th, William Fletcher 12th, Jeff Stabnow 13th, Gary Nichols in 14th, Ryan Gormley 15th after a struggling night for him, like most of these guys in the back, Briar Reynolds 16th, Chris White 17th, Zach Rush, tough night for him in the number 82 machine 18th, Carl Burke 19th, and the Walla Walla, Washington native Kevin Smith comes home 20th again, another frustrating night for him.
21st will be Chris Kynes, Ryan Bloom 22nd, Troy Daggett 23rd, Chad Ballack 24th, BJ Tedrick is 25th, Seth Frazier, James Vining, Ron Hunter, Aaron Cooper, and Dan West Jr. started the race, but started and parked 3 laps in. And Scott Hutchinson also unable to make the attempt of the race as well in 91. One more time, a look at the bottom left of the screen for the Virginia 811 call before you dig race summary. 5 cautions. Here's the deal, though, Jason. It happened in the opening 40 laps. After that, we went 80-plus laps or close to 80 laps, caution-free. Props to these guys. Miles the Munster did get a hold of a lot of calamity in the beginning, but in the end, it was racing. There was strategy, the green flag pit stops, the cycling, the undercut, and in the end, I think it was a highly entertaining race.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was an absolutely amazing race for sure, to say the least here tonight. I mean, and Devin West, I mean, what a job by leapfrogging Joshua Marcy in the pits. Such a smart idea. I really thought Marcy was going to be the first one to hit right there, but it ended up being Devin West right there, and he played the right call. And Sean Brightsman, what could have been there, he did such a good job making his way all back to 2nd.
Don't go anywhere, folks. When we return, we got post-race. We'll grab the top 3, all of that on deck when we return from Dover. Miles, the Munster, surely had some fun in the first quarter of the race here, but at the end of the night, it was caution-free strategy, as I mentioned before the break. And as we go to post-race, we'll chat with the man that's got down 2 wins this year, along with Sean Brightsman, the runner-up, and sweeper of Northwest competition. See if we can do the same thing in dirt. By the way, he won the first dirt race at Limaland in the debut of the Northwest Dirt Super Late Model Series. Devin West, we'll talk to him in a moment. But first, let's grab third-place driver Joshua Marcy. Joshua, man, so close to getting that win. Did you need a caution when it finally wasn't coming out? That could have really changed things up. And I know you got to be happy, though, with the podium.
Oh, yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled with the podium. But, yeah, I was hoping for a caution there at the end. Devin kind of jumped us on the pits there, and he had a little got ahead and just couldn't catch back up. And we were having some issues with the lappers. They were kind of all over the place. So yeah, caution would have been good, and kind of it would have been fun to race it out at the end. But yeah, congrats to Devin. He ran a good race today.
Yeah, Josh, man, you did a really good job tonight. Practically dominated besides Devin jumping ahead of you in the pits right there. Obviously, Devin pitted 2 laps earlier than you. Was your plan really to pit around the lap 70 mark the whole time, or right when Devin pitted did you realize, oh man, I got to pit?
Yeah, no, that was kind of our strategy. Was we were going to, once the leaders started going, we were going to go. So once Devin went down, I was like, yeah, okay, we got to go. So yeah, that was kind of the strategy. We just didn't want to get jumped. Tire fall off was pretty significant, so we just wanted to keep up with everyone else.
Joshua, I got to ask you, and we can segue this into thanking your sponsors. Do you feel like there might be something that the board of the Northwest needs to do at telling lap traffic to clear a path and, hey, there's a race going on, you're not in it, get out of the way, let these leaders battle it out, or do you feel like it's just all fair, love, and war on the track?
I think it's all fair, love, and war. I mean, the leaders, of course, would like to, get the right of way there, but those guys are racing their race too. So I've been in that same position as well, where I want to race for position, see the leaders coming up, and I don't want to move out of the way because I'm trying to get the guy in front of me. But so I mean, that's just racing. It's the leader's job to kind of work through it. And I didn't do as good a job as I could have.
Sponsors.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Bolify, Bowlers Mart, K&N. Give a shout out to Jonathan Byer for helping me spot tonight, and for CLICKIT RV for sponsoring the series. Big shout out to them as well.
There's the thoughts of the driver of the car, number 35, Joshua Marcy, on the podium here tonight. We go to the runner-up of the race, and that's Sean Brightsman. Sean with 2 wins on the year. I think he's going to walk away also possibly when we update the points as still the points leader, because he did have a good night, better than Tyler King did. Sean Brightsman, yes, you will have the points lead by 20 points over Paul Newton. Man, your take of surviving Dover, man. This race was kind of crazy. It was hectic. You had some strategy. Just come a little bit short. Your take of this race?
Yeah, overall good race after, Miles Monster decided to take a break or nap or whatever happened. But Right Fatigue Toyota Supra was fantastic. Felt pretty good. Battled Josh there for a while, and just couldn't get around him. He had a good car at the start, and Devin just pit before me. I was thinking I was going to pit around lap 75 and then try to jump those 2, and once Devin pit, man, I just decided to ride it out.
Yeah, Sean, I was actually literally just going to ask you that. Is there any reason why you really decide to just ride it out rather than pitting with leaders?
The biggest thing is I want to keep everybody in the Northwest Racing Series on their toes. They're never going to know what I'm going to do. I was thinking 2 tires there at the end. It's just I enjoy this series a lot. Like to have a lot of fun. Figured Devin, if he pit there, probably would jump Josh, and figured if I can ride it out maybe for a caution, maybe I can make it even worse for those guys and trap them lap down. So figured it was just worth it. I thought I could easily be in the top 5 if it went green. So
Sean, is somebody like yourself, being a veteran of the Northwest Racing Series, were you getting a little PO'd and frustrated with these lap cars not kind of clearing the path for you?
Not really. Josh said it great. They're out here racing too. It would be nice if they paid attention, if they were multiple laps down or something, to not race the leader. There's really nothing to gain if they're multiple laps down, racing the leader and kind of going down a lap. But other than that, I mean, it's like I said, they're racing their race, they're racing other drivers, trying to catch up. It's my job, the person passing them, to do it cleanly and get around them as quick as I can.
All right, brother, on to the next one. Let's have you thank your sponsors, man. Thank you.
Yep, just got to thank Brights Boutique. Thank you guys. Etsy, Warrior Wrap, Central Welding Supply, Lenders Eyewear, Swag Golf, CLICKIT RV for sponsoring the Northwest Racing Series and this fixed series. Everybody at Team LSRTV, LSRTV, you guys, the broadcasters, you guys kill it. And thank you to everybody at the Northwest Racing Series for showing up.
And when tonight wraps up, he'll also be the points leader as well with his second win this year. Again, got a 20-point lead now over Paul Newton, Stephen O'Hare, Tyler King, and Christopher White, the top 5. We go down to victory lane, and we're going to grab a word now with the driver, of course, of Devin West. Devin won Knoxville. He now wins tonight here at Dover. He can't commit to a, if you will, full-time run for the championship. My goodness, though, Devin, man, this was just a great race for you. The strategy, the undercut coming in after those stretches of cautions. Was that the call to win the race, do you think? Congratulations.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, it got in front of Josh, and it was pretty perfect where I sat down in front of Sean on that long run. Honestly, up until about 10 to go, probably, I thought for sure Sean was getting there. And the funniest thing about it is it was all luck, so I can't deny that. I got in that lap car with Josh. I got a ton of front end damage, and I was actually starting to blow up on lap 70 when I pitted, so I had no choice. But it worked out, obviously, amazing. Yeah, crazy race.
Yeah, Devin, man, you did a great job tonight, buddy. Really proud of you. Obviously, you come here to Dover, you win at my home track, so it's always nice to congratulate the winner. But obviously, you talked about, and we talked about all night long, you made the jump to come into the pits 2 laps earlier than Josh. Was that the plan all along, or did you kind of just wing it?
Like I said, I had that front end damage, and so the car was overheating, and the dash was let up red. So I came in, I wanted to stay out a few more laps longer. I knew a 50 lap last run or so was going to be quite a bit in tires, and I knew that Sean would stay out more than likely. He would sit out. I made about a 35 lap run that it was going to be pretty tight on whether or not my tires would hang on long enough on that last run. So it was honestly earlier than I thought it was and than I wanted it to be, right? But I had no choice. The car was going to blow up, and that's obviously the last thing I wanted in order to win my race. So
I'll tell you what, I got to throw this out here, and I want you to thank your sponsors. You won Knoxville to get your first truck win on Monday. You climbed up 16 spots in the points. Tonight, you win here at Dover for your second win, as well as the Atlanta win back on March. And in addition to that, you go from 22nd to 14th, 8 positions. Obviously, I know you said you can't commit to a full-time deal, but these types of point climbs in the pylon and with these wins, Devin, does it kind of make you maybe think of wanting to try to be here now every Monday and Wednesday to at least be in the cusp of making a run to the playoffs?
absolutely, man. I mean, I love being here, and honestly, even without a full-time schedule, I did everything I can to be here night in, night out. Unfortunately, I'm almost done with school. I only got 1 quarter left, but I can't control that schedule, and unfortunately, night classes kind of keep me occupied. But I'm doing everything I can to make Thursday nights. I should be here for the Xfinity for the regular season, so as long as no schedule changes happen around September time, I'll be here to fight for the championship for sure.
That's understandable. That's understandable. Man, congratulations. Let's let you go and thank your sponsors, Devin. Thank you.
Yeah, obviously, CLICKIT RV, Swanson Series, helping keep this going is awesome for all of us, and we all appreciate that. LSRTV up in the biz, you guys, like I said, are the best in the biz. Jeff, Sean, put this whole series on, and just being good friends and having a good time every night. And then my sponsors, Brights Web Solutions, Phoenix Customer Hardwood, Motorsports Distributing, yeah.
Second win this year for the driver of the number 5 at Shelton, Washington. That is Devin West. Jason, man, your final take on things. We wrap it up. We get ready for Slinging Dirt tomorrow night. And by the way, next Monday and Wednesday, we're at Darlington. And guess where NASCAR is running next weekend for Throwback Weekend of the Goodyear 400? Darlington, the Lady in Black. We're going to do it virtually next Monday and Wednesday. You're going to do it for the eNASCAR Road to Pro also on Thursday for the qualifier. Jason, what a way to wrap up tonight at Dover, to go from Dover to Darlington next week.
Yeah, man, I absolutely enjoyed this race. You know, really was kind of thinking to myself, oh, man, I really hope it's not a wreck fest. Earlier on, we had all those cautions, but, I mean, we were able to get a lot of green flag racing done. Guys did a great job here tonight. Congrats to Devin and everybody. They put on one heck of a show here tonight with these Xfinity cars.
It certainly was a great one. On behalf of Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, everybody with the Northwest Racing Series, CLICKIT RV, as well as the Rocket Racing Media and the broadcast coverage of iRacing on LSRTV and the Community Radio Network. We hope you've enjoyed it. And again, thank you so much. We'll be on the dirt tomorrow night for the Northwest. We're back at Darlington next Monday and Wednesday. So, for Jason Rockefeller, I am Wesley Outland. We congratulate again Devin West sweeping the Northwest on the dirt at Knoxville. And tonight at Dover, Miles the Munster is done growling. We'll see him another day. It's on to Darlington next week. Take care. Thank you for tuning in.